We'll call this meeting to order. This is the City of Harvey Council meeting dated Monday, July 28, 2025. It is 7:10 p.m. And all the persons present, please mark yourself as such. We have a quorum present. Next item on the agenda is invocation, pledge of allegiance. If you would be so kind and bow your heads. Heavenly Father God, we come to you, approaching the throne of grace, asking you for your mercy, O God, asking for your grace and your favor, knowing that all blessings come through you, O Lord, and we always need to seek you first, and the kingdom of heaven will be in it, O Lord. We ask that you will continue to guide us and bless us, O Lord, and that you will bless everyone who is here at today's meeting, that you will bless those who had intention to come but were not able to, and that you will inspire others to be involved in the city in which we love and which you oversee, O Lord. We ask that you would bless this council so that it may continue to do the work, not the work that is what they want, O Lord, because it's not their work, but it's your way and it's your will. And we ask, O Lord, that you will keep this council in that frame of mind, and that while you are doing so, O Lord, we ask that you would allow your spirit to just fall down upon this city, fall down upon this room, O Lord, so that we may feel you, that we may know you, that we may receive you, O God, that we may continue to give you praise, to give you glory, and to magnify you. This we ask in your Son, Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next item on the agenda is executive session, and we have none. We will move forward from number 4 and 5 and move directly to number 6 on the agenda, which is the approval of minutes 6A, dated June 23rd, 2025. Chair would entertain a motion. I have a motion from, excuse me, a motion from the 6th and a second by the 3rd. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. Next item is 6B, approval of minutes dated July 14th, 2025. There's a motion by the 3rd and a second by the 6th. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda, item 7. 7A is approval of the bills dated May 26, 2025. Is there a recommendation from the Finance Chair?
Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, Mayor, there is a recommendation from the Finance Chair that we ratify the bills for May 26, 2025.
Okay, hearing so, we have a motion by the 6th and a second by the 3rd. Is there any debate?
Yes.
Okay, the chair recognizes the second ward.
There were several questions that Alderperson Rogers, Chairman Rogers could not answer in fidelity regarding the bills list. One of which was regarding the BNF Construction Co. earning $180,000 since May through now for infrastructure. We don't have a clear idea on what those details entail, what particular services have been rendered, what the timeline of that rendering is. And in addition to that particular cost, Mayor, there's an additional $6,000 total in review plans. And so without having any further insight, I asked the chair as well as the members, could we refer this back to the Finance Committee, all bills lists, for further review, as the residents stated that they need additional oversight, transparency, and fidelity regarding the bills list?
Well, actually,
No.
We got one more.
We don't, no. Let me get this. Let me give you a minute, Alderman. I want to make sure we got the questions covered, the debate covered. Were you done, Alderman?
Yes.
Okay, the chair recognizes the fourth ward.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to let the residents know my debate is that I'm not in agreement of supporting paying the bills. Even though bills have to be paid, everyone has to pay bills. The structure of our finance meeting, which I wish more people would have been here to attend and understand where I'm coming from. Whenever there's any discrepancies and questions that are not answered, I don't understand why we immediately go into the meeting and then all of a sudden vote on them instead of saying, let's send this to the Finance Committee once again, hold a special meeting the next few days, get all the questions answered, make sure everything is in order, and then simply go ahead by approving the bills list. But to approve the bills list on the night before, the hour before, started at 6 o'clock, questions still wasn't answered, can't be answered, or I don't know if they ever will be answered. Or for us to put it on the agenda to vote is like a disrespect to the residents. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Does that complete your
Yes.
debate?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. As the chair, Alderman Rogers, do you have anything to say in that regard?
first of all, I'd like to comment on second one, Alderman Chapman's request. She requested via email. These questions in regards to bills that never did were brought up at the finance meeting when she clearly had an opportunity to discuss them at that particular time. The invoices that, hey, listen, don't do that. Don't do that.
Hold on, let me control the meeting. And if y'all would be so kind, I appreciate it so much. Thank you. Please continue.
And in addition, the bills list that we receive, these are bills that have already been paid. We don't have any of the information that was requested at hand, okay? And if she had have asked me personally, instead of through an email before the meeting or after the meeting, I would have been more than happy to let her know that she would have to refer her questions. I believe there were 12. And these questions would have to be referred to the mayor's office, because they're the ones that can do that. We don't have that particular pertinent information that you're requesting, that you're speaking in terms of. And as far as my friend out in the fourth ward, nobody's being disrespectfful. Okay, we have finance meeting because they were supposed to, they were put here to command structure, okay? And as a matter of fact, I think we're the only committee meeting that's actually meeting right now. It's to be transparent. It's to give the public an opportunity and its residents on how their expenditures and how their money is being spent. So to address both of you all, you stand correct.
So, thank you. First, to answer the question regarding B&F Construction. B&F Construction is a vendor of the city. They actually are the ones who do the inspections for the city, both residential and commercial. And so, I'm not sure exactly how many or who voted on it, but this board, this council did approve a contract with B&F Construction. And so that's why they're being paid for the work that they do. And so many of the, not all of the inspectors that you see, they come from B&F Construction because they are a vendor of the city. So that's one. Two, just for clarity's sake, so the finance committee had its meeting.
Yes.
The finance committee voted to move this particular item to the full council for a vote.
Yes.
So, the finance committee did its job, and now it's time for us to do ours, and that is to take the vote. If there is no additional debate from any other members who have not already made a comment of debate. Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Measure carries, and I also want to state also for the record, because I have to join in actually with Alderwoman Chapman, because she did send the email over, and in my email response, one of them, I told her that she should forward this to the finance committee. So that may be, I'm not 100% sure, but that may be how it ended up going in the direction that it did. All right, so next on the agenda is 7B, approval of bills dated June 23rd, 2025. There's a motion by the 3rd, a second by the 6th. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your vote. Motion carries. Next item is 7C. That is approval of bills dated July 28, 2025. We have a motion from the 3rd, a second from the 6th. Is there any debate?
Yes, Mayor.
The chair recognizes the second board.
This question was also posed to you, Alderman Rogers, as well as the committee members. It was regarding two particular line items, and one was a $19,000 payment that, as you mentioned, has already been paid out, correct? Because these are bills that have already been paid out, that were voted on, correct? Knowing that I'm certain that at some point we had to know that 10% of our staff would be laid off. And in planning, or in a contingency plan of planning for that particular issue, I would think that we'd be spending $19,000. I think it's great. We need all God's gospel here in the City of Harvey. However, we have to figure out the best way or practice for measurable spending. And these were one of the questions. How did we arrive to hosting a gospel concert? I haven't seen a public advertisement for it. Perhaps it's on the way. But that's one question that I did ask you. Another one was that we spent $24,000 on one vendor, which was the moonwalks. And while I think that that's great, we need festivity to continue to create camaraderie. We sold food, and we don't have a grocery store here. So I'm just thinking that $24,000 could have been allocated to feed families. Most are about 5 in each household across Harvey. And so we need some understanding of just a basic practice. How did someone come to you, Finance Chair Rogers, to confirm that this was okay before we decided to move forward, since you did mention that all of these bills have been paid?
Excuse me. So this isn't a question and answer session as far as that's concerned. This is debate.
Okay.
Just want to make that clear.
Okay.
However, I did hear you say something about, you said moonwalk, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Was this in relation to what?
The 4th of July.
Okay. And then you said something,
I said, since we spent $24,000 on moonwalk, did we offer free food to the residents?
and then you said 19,000 on
Gospel.
The gospel concert.
Okay, because I want to make sure I get those straight. First of all, I believe that our citizens deserve to have some of the benefits that many of the other citizens in other communities have. When we do things such as this, once again, is having a good and powerful team. I think I brought it up at the last meeting that this is through donations. Now what happens is they donate and they give the money to the city, and then we have to use that money for the purposes in which it was donated. But that's donated funds. So as you have now let everybody know, we're going to be out the gospel event. That's donated funds, and more of it will be donated as we move forward in the future. And it's donated by a lot of businesses. I think I mentioned in our last meeting that it was the Mayor's Cup soccer event was received sponsors. And I mentioned this, I think specifically, that Canes, what is, I can't see it. Is that the name of it? Yeah. They even, Raisin Canes? Oh, okay. I know that's something. But they even donated money, and they're not even in Harvey. So we're blessed enough to be able to, I guess, pull on the heartstrings of the people who support the city and support the residents, so we can have these types of events. This isn't frivolous spending. This is people giving us their treasures to do what it is that they want us to do. And that's one of the things that I'm proud about this administration, is that when somebody gives us some money to do A, B, and C gets done. So that's where that comes from.
If I could just ask or make a recommendation there, that when we do get the bills list, can we just see those profits coming in, or that revenue, or that particular bucket for those grants that have been allocated back to the city? Because it's an easier and more fluid conversation with residents. But when they ask for the packet, I send it to them once it's finalized. And these are their questions that they're asking me, so I just want to be able to answer with full fidelity so they know that we're managing the monies correctly.
Okay. Well, I'll discuss that with my team and find out if there's something that we can do to help facilitate that. The chair recognizes the first ward.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My form of debate is that when companies or businesses or whoever donates to the funds, the check has to be written out from the city for insurance purposes and liability. So therefore, when we see this, and like the second word alderman said, so we know that we can confidently trust the city. You know, I trust the city. I trust our comptroller. And I would definitely put my reputation on them. So if the comptroller is saying that this came through donations, because the comptroller is legally responsible for the finances of the city. If my understanding is correct, Mr. Mayor, as I was informed by Lisa Madigan's office in the previous administration. So that is why I will be voting for this. Thank you.
That was a throwback.
Yes, it was.
But yeah, so we'll, like I said, I'll have a discussion with the comptroller and with the team, try to figure out if there's another way for us to go about handling these particular matters. But like I said, I do want to make sure that I give commendation to the administration for going out, and I said it at the last meeting, when we first started doing the 4th of July celebration, I didn't want to spend any money on it. Because of the simple fact is, we didn't have it. But they decided that they were going to show me, and then they were going to go out and they were going to basically ask for contributions to be able to get the money that was necessary. And we had a great 4th of July.
Yes, we did.
And the gospel show will be just as great. Am I right or am I right? It'll be just as great. So, here we go. So, we do have the motion in a second. So, there is no other debate. You can cast your vote. Motion carries. Next item is the approval of ordinances and resolutions for the City of Harvey. 8A, old business, none. And 8B, new business. 8B1, motion to approve the release and settlement agreement between McIntyre and the City of Harvey. This motion authorizes the agreed upon settlement and release claim number 22G93M0888083 for the McIntyre versus City of Harvey lawsuit under case number 2023L066064. Chair entertain a motion, and a motion from the third and the second from the first. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. Next item is B8B2. It's a motion to approve an agreed judgment order for case number 2022CH02316, City of Harvey versus its loyal services. This motion authorizes the agreed judgment order to pay the City of Harvey the sum of $25,000 via payments of $500 monthly and to pay in full for violations of city codes at 43 and 47 West 159th Street, Harvey, Illinois. I have a motion from the first and a second by the sixth. Is there any debate? Hearing none, you may cast your votes. Motion carries. Next item, 8B3, ordinance amending Chapter 953 of the Municipal Code entitled Noise Control. The ordinance amends the hours for prohibited noise and penalty amount for violations. There's a motion by the third and second by the first. Is there any debate?
Yes.
Chair recognizes the second ward.
Our annual income here for most families is about $23,000. And so in looking, we previously had a tier scale, first offense, second offense, third offense. And when I went to look at Chicago's costs for, or even Dixmoor, or even Phoenix, the fines were way less than at a one-time fee of $500. And I'm asking the council, because we are in socioeconomic oppression, if you will, to think about having a tiered system or approach financially to the cost. I think that a one-time cost at $500 is extremely high for our community and for our annual earnings here in our community. So my belief is that this needs some further review from the Finance Committee.
I have to make sure.
That's it.
Chair recognizes the first ward.
Thank you.
Speaking to your mic too.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. I echo the sentiments of our second ward alderwoman with the fact of the economic situation in the city. However, the offenders here are not first repeaters. They're second and third. I think everybody knows, being a good neighbor, we have to be sensitive to the noise level. And yet, there are repeated vendors constantly going. And our police officers are responding, and this $500 one-time fee, and then it can go up, I think will do the residents, and especially our senior citizens and the people that are dealing with medical conditions, when we're constantly playing the loud music. Now, I am a firm believer it does not happen across the city, but I do know it happens in the first ward. I mean, so I wish that we would support this and implement this procedure. Yes, the economic, but maybe people will become good neighbors after that. Thank you.
Chair recognizes within the sixth ward.
I'd like to echo the sentiments of my colleagues, first ward, second ward alderman. But as a conscientious resident here in Harvey for over 51 years, and I've seen, and we're not just talking about loud music, we're talking about fireworks, we're talking about the loud exhaust coming from the cars at night that you know, that's creating just a habit. The fireworks, I remember this past 4th of July, I had my dogs just shivering, you know, and, you know, not to say that this is not important, but the fact of the matter is that we've been putting up with this nuisance for, I think that we need to give our police department the meat and potatoes that they need in order. I like creating legislation, and I love the fact that if we can do something that's going to act on the betterment of our city, I think we should do so. So with that being said, yes, and it's not just fireworks and loud exhaust and loud boom box music. It's all kind of, and I was reading the ordinance earlier, and it specified hospitals, schools, and churches. Well, on a Saturday night, you ain't got nobody in church, but you got the residents that are suffering extremely because of all this chaos and nuisance that's going on in our community. So yeah, I stand with this ordinance.
Chair recognizes the fourth ward.
Thank you, Mayor. I understand this ordinance, and it makes a lot of sense. I'm just concerned on how it's going to be enforced. Fortunately, I came from a pretty decent block growing up in my neighborhood, you know, growing up in the City of Harvey, and it can still, you know, continues to be that way. But what we do, we simply ask our neighbors and let them know, hey, I'm having a party Friday night. And if everybody really agrees and everybody knows what's really going on, people respect it because they're saying people may want to have a party too. So what I'm saying is, so if there's nobody around in the immediate vicinity that's calling in saying the noise is too loud, do the police officer have the authority to just come by and say if they hear it and come by and issue a ticket, or are they going to wait and see what the responses are in the surrounding area?
Were you done? This is debate, so yeah.
Yeah, I hope I wasn't. I was just trying to make a point on how it should be enforced, and it should be some more better clarity, and not be given up to the officers to decide if they want to come by and make a ticket on everybody around the surrounding area. And plus, it keeps the neighborhood together too. When the neighbors come by and talk to you and say, I'm having a party, that's just, you know, that's the stuff we need, because everything we're going through in the City of Harvey right now, people need to party.
Chair recognizes the fifth ward.
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify something, because we're doing it again. If you read this, it's commercially zoned areas, the fine is $500. Okay? And it's $175 in residential. So I just don't want to go out there like we just wrote an ordinance to where if you do violate this ordinance, you get $500. Unless you consider your house to be in a commercially zoned area, okay? But it's not. The legislative committee worked very hard on this ordinance, and it comes as a direct reaction from residents. I also looked at other ordinances from other communities, okay? And one thing that I started to notice is that this is really a common sense ordinance. People come into the city of Harvey and think they can do whatever they want, but you wouldn't do that at Homewood. It does not dawn on you that maybe I shouldn't sit in front of this house, okay, and let my trunk rattle while drinking some Hennessy. Nobody wants to hear that. But you wouldn't do it intently. This is common sense. If you are not financially able, then one thing you should do is obey the law. What we gonna do? Wow. You gonna get rid of all the stop signs because people can't afford the fee? No, stop.
All right, audience, I love you, but we got to still make sure we maintain some control. So
Point of order, Mayor.
you know what, go ahead, Paul.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to make it clearly on what, as an alderman and a resident, a lifelong resident, or what I'm simply saying. We understand the noise and the situation we've all experienced. My question was, how are the police going to enforce it? Are they going to enforce it in the right type of way? And what procedures do they have?
And so you asked a question that was outside the scope of the debate. It's outside the scope of the ordinance.
I just want to.
Yeah. So as far as as this is concerned, if I can add, even though I don't have a vote in the matter, as the mayor, we don't just get it from one board, we get it from 6, and we hear it from all over. And this is another one of those situations, just like the finance committee. The legislative committee put in a lot of work. They made their recommendation. That's how it got to the agenda. And so they made their recommendation, and then they also worked with the mayor's office to make sure as well that all concerns were addressed. So once they do that, it comes here and it's up for a vote. But excuse me, when we got into office in 2019, one of the first things we did was we eliminated or abated all interest, all fees, all penalties on any water bills. That was one of the first actions that we took. We also went ahead and we reduced the vehicle sticker from $50 to $35. So we brought that down as well as the senior amount. It was 15 to 6. We brought that down as well. I do agree that there are certain issues that for all intents and purposes, if we can avoid placing those burdens on our good, salty earth, tax-paying, family-raising, going to work citizens here in the city of Harvey, if we can do that, we want to eliminate that as much as we possibly can. But when it comes to nuisance and to vices, those things are choices where you can say, you know what, well, there was a $500 fine, which I'm glad it was clarified by the alderperson as far as it's $500 for commercial, $175 for residential. But just don't do it. You know, it's a very easy way to deal with that. And also, even though Alderman, I did say it was out of scope, I will address it because I had already spoke with the chief. We issue warnings first. So, and it's never been anything, this is not anything abnormal. You know, we go to the house, you know, and you tell the person, hey, look, you know, because then you can tell if they're doing it because they just don't know, or they're doing it because they just don't care. And that's what makes the difference. So if the police officer has to come back, well, now we got something that we need to discuss, you know. But as much as we all care about the city, and as much as we all care about the people, I don't think there's anybody in this room, and I don't believe there's anybody on this council, that is intentionally trying to penalize people for the sake of just penalizing them. These are things that we get constant complaints about, and we constantly have to deal with it all the time. And as it's like with the, what do you call that, with the alarm systems. Just fix the alarm. Don't make a police officer have to come back and forth to your alarm call every day because you didn't want to fix the alarm magnet on your window when they've already been out there 1, 2, 3 times. Just fix the alarm. You know, and if anything, that is your civic responsibility as a member of this community to take those things into consideration as well. So I would support it if I had a vote, but you have a motion by the third and a second by the first. So you may now cast your votes. Motion carries.
That's ordinance 3514, 3514.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is encouraged and appreciated. This is the only opportunity for the public to address the City Council on agenda items and any other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members of the audience, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issue. When your name is called, proceed to the podium, state your name. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. No speaker may donate his or her time to another speaker. Comments shall be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaigning or advertisement. This is not a question and answer time, and council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed with city staff during regular business hours. All right, first for public comments is Melissa Crawley, followed by Chappelle Hooks.
Good evening, my name is Melissa Crawley, and I've lived in Harvey long enough to know when leadership becomes a threat. What happened to me wasn't just personal, it was political and retaliatory and illegal. Mayor Christopher Clark falsely claimed that I tried to enter his home, and that lie set off a chain of abuse. I was dragged out of my home barefoot, locked in a filthy cell, then forcibly sedated at Ingalls Hospital, treated like an animal, treated like a criminal, with no warrant, no crime, and no medical cause. All because I spoke up against him. All because I showed up to his house in protest. Mayor Clark, you said you had video that could show me entering your home, or at least trying to attempt to enter your home. It's been weeks. Where is that video? You can't produce it because it never happened. You didn't tell the public that your ally, Jedediah Brown, made threats online. You didn't mention the alias that you often use during political disagreements, Cookie Ross. You didn't mention any of that. Let's talk about Jedediah Brown, who's here tonight. At the last meeting, he left under what appeared to be police escort. He's seen on video committing mob action in the presence of police officers. A seated councilwoman, Talani Smith, who swears she's unbiased, her own niece was also arrested at that brawl. Yet again, no consequences. I was actually held longer for doing nothing. You hide behind "that's not my ward," Tyrone Rogers, but your vote affects every ward, and your silence is complicity. Mayor Clark opens these meetings with prayer, but God sees through empty words. James 1:27, pure religion is to care for the afflicted and to keep yourself unspotted from the world. But you don't protect the afflicted. You persecute us. You're not unspotted. You're neck deep in corruption. God is not mocked. That what you sow, you shall also reap. Under 75 ILCS 10:2 through 202, you are personally liable for willful misconduct, and I intend to hold you to that. I'm going to sue you in both your personal and your official capacity. Who's crazy now?
Thank you. Next is Carol Hooks, followed by Suzanne, I think it's Suzanne Allen.
Hello, everybody. So, that was during a meeting, 2/10/25, when Mayor Clark stated that Jedediah wasn't worth being represented by anybody because he had the audacity to call a black woman a B in a council meeting, in a town hall meeting. But yet, today, he's out here doing whatever he want to do all through Harvey. And me and Jedediah has had talks, yeah. Just like when he went over there and threw the people out of the bandos over there. And business came to me and told me, yeah, I heard you. I heard what you said. We going over there. But Jedediah, that was already there. As, as if he worked for the City of Harvey. But, and then nothing was done when they jumped on Amir and his daughter. Actually, he came back to the scene, and then he had a police escort his truck to the police station, which I find that funny because a lot of people get their vehicles towed and got to pay $1,000 just for a tow. So I'm trying to figure how he get that special treatment. And also, Talani's niece, when she hit Ryan, and, Talani, I wasn't going to do nothing to you. You didn't have to run that night. I handed you your niece key fob. Actually, I didn't have to give it to her. You know what I mean? I did it because I felt like that was something that I would want somebody to do for me. So I handed her the key fob. And she drove the niece's car. Her niece's car should have been towed away because she was put in cuffs. So all of this stuff that's going on, I'm trying to figure it out, why citizens have to pay $1,500 just to get their cars out of town. All the woman chatting. Y'all told hers, and she had to pay the $1,000 to get it out. And she also had to go to Cook County Corrections. Why wasn't Jedediah there? Why wasn't Talani's niece there? No, none of that stuff happens, but y'all talk about we supposed to understand and supposed to do all, for what? Y'all got y'all little picks and y'all do what y'all want, and then y'all get mad when we talk about y'all.
Thank you. Next up is Ms. Allen, followed by Lance James Watson.
Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. I'm Suzanne Allen. I am representing and speaking for Betty M. Allen. She is an 89-year-old resident of Harvey, Illinois. I allege that the City of Harvey has figured out how to weaponize the water department. No, my mother's not cuddled nicely into her home. Right now, she's still upset because there's her yard has been torn up. It was knocked on our door, a knock came on our door from a realtor that basically stated, hey, we can't do anything with the house on your property. We'll sell it back to you for pennies on the dollar, pennies on the dollar. And this is from a realtor. So we're like, something's up, let's go take a look at it. Come to find out, my mom owned both houses on the property. Freddie Mac may have had it in 2021, but someone needs to ask how they got it. What you're looking at, we allege there are improprieties that are, it's not correct. Unfortunately, that is not rested. How do you sell a perfectly nice home for $2,000? P.S. Who got the $2,000? Where does it benefit? Who was the investor that you sold it to, and who was a part of that investment team? Unfortunately, I had to take a break in order to take care of some things medically, and it is not rested, it is not over. We have never received due process. We have never received due process. We are long-term residents of the City of Harvey. My mother has lived in this area for more than 27 years. She has never once been late on a water bill, ever. However, they cut her water off a little more than a year ago. April 24, I believe it was, the water holiday, water reclamation day or something. Her water was cut off, 89-year-old lady. She couldn't take a bath. She couldn't brush her teeth for more than 30 days. In order to get that water turned back on, we had to agree for the properties to be separated. Under duress that an 89-year-old woman had to suffer. And it is not over. I just need you to know that. Research has to be completed, and then we will take this a little bit further. I will not have my mom's property being taunted by the City of Harvey as some good thing. She is not in the Myrtle Avenue when they're taking these additional houses to put in a pond or something. My mom's house is not there. Her house is on 155th and Myrtle. There was a sign put in that yard. Something about it was under this development. I knew this was going to happen because it looked like a big smoke screen. I allege, the City of Harvey has done this purposely, I allege that the City of Harvey needs to stop doing things in the dark. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Glennis James Watson, followed by Vance Wyatt / Steve Hines, I guess is what it is.
Good evening, my name is Glennis James Watson. I am a resident of the First Ward. There are two issues I would like to address this evening. One is the department reports given during city council meetings, and two is preferential treatment of elected officials. First, department reports. It is commendable that the department heads or their designees are able to stand before us and report on the work, the accomplishments, the impact that their respective departments are having on the city. However, in my opinion, using one of the two council meetings in the month to devote to department reports is inappropriate. City business is therefore conducted only once a month as a result. There is too much going on, or too much that needs to happen in the City of Harvey to reduce the number of business meetings to once a month. Perhaps the residents would be better served if the department reports took place once a quarter at a special meeting dedicated to their reporting, or allow the department heads to give their reports via video, and they can be posted on the website so that people who are interested in a particular department can listen to that report only. Second, there seems to be glaring displays of preferential treatment in favor of some elected officials against others. There are reports of some elected officials not being included in meetings, taking place inside and outside of the city, not allowed to sit in on executive session meetings, public events, even publicity photos, and even receive reimbursements for out-of-pocket expenses. And per Chappelle's comments, there is apparently preferential treatment on how the law is applied. Just a couple of weeks ago, Mayor Clark stated that this administration is diverse and inclusive, yet elected officials are blatantly being excluded. This is not Mean Girls Harvey edition. This is a city supposed to be overseen and run by people in a professional manner. There is no place for pettiness, exclusion, and bias. Do the job you were elected to do and allow each elected official the right to do the job they were elected to do, each with every right and privilege to them. Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your comments. Next is Vance White, followed by Amanda Askew.
For clarity, I am Faye Kimes, and I'm reading this certification letter to the treasurer from the Illinois Municipal Treasurers Association. Mr. Vance Wyatt, is the elected treasurer of the city of North Chicago. And I'm going to read this straight from him. He said, I also serve as the first vice president of the Illinois Municipal Treasurers Association. That's IMTA, Illinois Municipal Treasurers Association. And as a board member of the Association of Public Treasurers of the United States and Canada, otherwise APT, US, and C. This evening, which was last week, Tuesday, I am honored to present your treasurer, Aisha Pickett, with her well-earned Certified Illinois Municipal Treasurer designation. The CIMT, Certified Illinois Municipal Treasurer program, established in 1983, was created to advance the professionalism and professional standing of municipal treasurers across Illinois. The certification is administered and awarded by the IMTA and adheres to the standards set by APT, US, and C, United States and Canada, which oversees the certification framework for public treasurers throughout the United States and Canada. Having a certified treasurer at the state level is a great honor for your community, as it reflects Treasurer Pickett's dedication to excellence and continued professional development. With your support, I hope she will also pursue national certifications through APT, US, and C in the near future. Respectfully, Vance D. Wyatt, MBA, ACP, FIM, CGIP, CIMT, CPFA. A lot of acronyms behind that name. City Treasurer, City of North Chicago, First VP of IMTA, APT, US, and C, Board Member. I hope this will encourage you to allow our treasurer to perform her job, because she is more than qualified from the beginning, but now she has been nationally certified.
Thank you. Next is Amanda Askew, followed by Ronald and Miles Jr., I think.
It starts when I speak, or it just starts now?
We need to start talking.
Okay, this is at 2:48, I haven't started.
Can we? We'll see this happen.
to the finance committee meeting before the city council meeting, and again, as usual, I left with more questions than I had answers. And I wanted to address some of the closing comments that some from the finance committee shared. Number one, I would like to address Alderman Smith. You mentioned WW Hope, you also mentioned O'Reilly's. All of these businesses have not paid their taxes. There's multiple taxing bodies for different businesses. My concern is I've never seen a report either from you or anyone on the finance committee about what financial remedies have you all addressed with these businesses to get them back on track, and not $10,000 a month, something that's feasible for a business owner. And I also want to clarify that O'Reilly's is a national corporation that is renting a space to conduct business in the city of Harvey. O'Reilly does not own the building that they have. So you don't go after the renter for the fault of the building owner. You go after the building owner and work with the other taxing bodies such as County of Cook to, again, find some type of financial remedy. Number two, we talked about, it was mentioned that I heard $165 million in debt, and the media stated $149 million in debt. And they said, see, it's a reduction. The issue is, I only can go off hearsay. There is no financial documentation, either on the City of Harvey's website or the State of Illinois Comptroller's website. And again, as a person that loves numbers, I like it documented, and I should be able to access those financial reports that we're 3 to 4 years behind on through the State of Illinois site and the City of Harvey's website. I also would like to address the comptroller, but I know that he's not here. He mentioned that he has 12 years of experience here in the City of Harvey as the comptroller. So he was here during the previous administration. My concern is, Mayor Clark, you ran on the theme of lack of transparency. You want to make things right, but then to continue to employ the comptroller who was under the previous administration is very concerning, because as he mentioned in the finance committee meeting, oh, we were 8 years behind the audits and now we're 3. The issue is we should not be behind at all on any type of financial reporting for someone that has 12 years of experience. And secondly, to the Economic Development Committee, I'm afraid I don't want to see any signs talking about coming soon and we don't see any businesses, because that's what happened during the last election, like Jet Foods. I release.
Come on now.
Next is, thank you for coming. Next is Ronald Mouse Jr., followed by M. King Jr.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor. Finance degree from Government State University. What is the procedure when everything you do feels like making a mistake? I'm not a resident of Harvey, but my church is here in Harvey. In fact, 3 generations of my family go to church here in Harvey. And I realize the City of Harvey, this is the City of Harvey and not the Village of Harvey. But for investors and pedestrians and procedures, it's time that the distinction is heard more thoroughly from the people to supreme law. The term city is not for a dissimilar population size. The bus terminal being a pillar of this community and running late into the evening, connecting employment to UPS Hoskins overnight, and I understand why it's called the City of Harvey from an investor-facing perspective. We also have UPS Logistics in Ward 2. Our trendsetters. I understand that changing the City of Harvey to the Village of Harvey might threaten a litany of state and federal expenditures that sustain Harvey, classifications and zones, grants and infrastructure package credits that come with the name the City of Harvey. Surely, injustice finds no rest in Harvey. I am here to reiterate a statewide problem to the voter-facing administration and hopefully offer the people a shovel to dig themselves out of a hole. Unpaid internships and volunteering will not satisfy the community's desire to gain traction in pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Paid externships and investors hiring from within the community to be a part of the negotiations would help provide procedure and for engaged citizens. Alderman Chapman's affinity for sustainability and turning some of these vacant lots into pollinator gardens or farmers markets, starting zones can end up benefiting citizens in a different way. Bring structure and procedure and food to the unemployed. There is a procedure that allows farmers markets participants to receive SNAP as payment, like investors or storefront businesses. In my village, the keeper of the lot is credited $25 to their water bill every month, even though it takes more than $25 to keep your garden sometimes. This is the type of incremental procedure people need. As part of the other ideas that she points to as the benchmarks from other villages that Harvey can implement and unengaged citizens can be proud of. We'll make sure that nobody regrets taking root in Harvey.
Thank you. Next is King Jr., followed by Dionysus Paul.
Reverend M. King Jr., Church of Daniel Chapel in Phoenix, but I'm a resident of Harvey for over 40 years. And I ran a couple of times, I'm not talking politics, I ran a few times with false promises given for the 6th ward, I'm going to particular put on that. And also with something else here. How can you have a finance meeting about an hour before you have the regular meeting? How do you do that? How in the world, Alderman Tyrone Rogers, how can you have a meeting and not know anything about what you're talking about? How can you do that? How can you stand up there and do that? Just like I put up a mirror, I put you in the mirror and you on blast about that Vietnam Veterans Memorial. I made an agreement with the mayor about that a long time ago, but I never got a financial help or anything. And I took pictures and put it out on there, and finally somebody put the flags up and cut it down. Myself and the alderman of the 4th ward, we worked together on some of that. He did. He volunteered to put lights on and stuff like that. The alderman of the 2nd ward, she's working hard having meetings with other people. We haven't had a meeting since I've been seeing you in here. The only time I see my alderman is in this meeting working finance. Where the 6th ward's got on Halsted Street, you got a prostitute, I heard the chief said, they're taking care of all these problems. Well, guess what? Right after that meeting, the mayor made this thing that he wants to have a settlement with everybody. He wants some peace and some love with everybody. But guess what happened? As soon as we got out this building, was a lineup of the police officers and walked us off the property. Immediately, I was standing there. They said, keep on moving. Is that freedom? Is that what you call having a way of saying we're going to settle this and we're going to be kind and loving each other? Are we in a police state? When I went to Vietnam, I thought I was fighting for freedom. But I wasn't fighting for this. I was not fighting to have my freedom taken away. I wasn't fighting to see what I see in the streets. I wasn't fighting for burglaries like a right across the street from my house. I wasn't fighting for prostitution when this prostitute has been out there since the report has been made by the police and said he took everybody off the street. And guess what? Right after the meeting, I left her, went down Halsted Street. She was still working the streets on Halsted, Tyrone, right by the wooden K. And there's nobody bothering her. There's still people living in that abandoned building over there on Halsted Street. They set themselves up where they're living inside the building. I guarantee you one thing for sure. I know I can't talk politics, but in 2028, I guarantee you, we're going to clean house. We're going to clean house. We're not going to let this happen anymore. We've got people laid off and they don't even know they was laid off. What kind of notice is that? You're laid off. What kind of notice is that? You're not getting information. You need to get information. These all the persons have the right to know what's going on before the meeting started, not just the 4 followers. The 4 disciples, yes, I can tell you, Mayor made the comment. I don't have to worry about this vote because I'm not voting. He already knows you're going to vote with him. I don't care what it is, because you don't have any spine. You need to get some spine and represent the ward that you're supposed to be representing. You can't do this and go and get that salary every month and tell me you're doing something. And the other thing, you're collecting money for beautification, and guess what? Ain't nothing being beautified.
Next is Dionysus, I won't pronounce that right, Paul, followed by Jolene Harris.
That's kind of difficult to go behind someone so passionate, but good evening. My name is Dion Hall, and I stand before the residents and the council and the mayor of Harvey as a representative of Roseland Ceasefire to put on the record and to inform you all that we stand with and are here to serve you. The alderwomen spoke about food help for residents. We can help. If you and your family members are dealing with traumas and need counseling, we can help. Most issues that the residents in Harvey are dealing with that impact your daily lives, we can help. So we walk around with this bright orange on so we're easily seen and easy to find. So if you see us on your block or knocking on your doors, just say hi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Geraldine Harris.
To the Honorable Mayor Christopher J. Clark and this Honorable Council, you all are doing a fantastic job. I love everything that you're doing, and I really think, and I know that you have this public interest at heart. You know what? You're going to have the naysayers. You're going to have those that want to do their own agenda. Keep on doing what you're doing, because guess what? This city is rising. People coming back in here on 154th Street, there's going to be many shops. Coffee shops, dress shops, pancake houses. It's coming back to Harvey. The citizens of Harvey, you can be a pilot and help your children. If you think you're too old or too ill, help your grandchildren. Learn them, find out where they can learn grant writing. So they can be a part of this new community that's coming back to Harvey. If you don't help them and you don't help yourself, other people are coming back to Harvey. Other people are coming back in. You're going to see them open up shops and everything. And you're going to be marginalized because that's what you want. If you don't get up and do something for yourself and your generation to come, you may not see them, but you can have that opportunity for those that's coming, because they coming. And another thing, you know what? I don't know what attention you get, but I can tell. Trump do not control this universe. Go to Psalms 47, and it'll tell you who controls this universe. Trump is not a part of the Trinity, and if you keep putting your attention on what he's doing, guess what? That means you're not giving your attention to what you should be doing. Come on now. I live in Harvey over 50 years in the second ward. I was here the last meeting and asked my alderperson to cut that 7-foot tall grass in the back of my house in the abandoned building. No, it has not been done.
I'm going to ask this a second to get done.
No, let's see, let it get done. Let it get done. And other things that need to be done in Harvey. I see it's going. It's coming. It's coming. But guess what? Don't give all this attention to the naysayers. They did the same thing with building the wall in Israel time. When they was building the temple in Israel time. Give your attention to positive things. Thank you, neighbors.
I want to thank everyone for their public comment. Your comments are greatly appreciated. I'll be brief. The next on the agenda, item 10, mayoral comment. I have not as much to say because one thing I said in the last meeting was that I was not going to continue to address the negativity. If you come with some suggestions or some viable solutions, then we can have a conversation. And I look forward to those conversations. But what I want to talk about is moving the city forward. But before we do, I just want to make sure, because of course there are people who will watch this video at a future time, and I forgot to mention that the opinions, whether good or bad, whether positive or negative, are the opinions of those participating in public comment. It does not suggest whether what they are saying is or is not true. But I am not going to address it because the bottom line is going back and forth, it just really doesn't do anything for this city. It doesn't help the city one bit. And everything that I heard, you know, with all due respect, none of that puts food on people's tables, clothes on people's backs, or roofs over their heads. And so we are in problem solving, solution giving. What you say?
Customer service.
Say it louder, can I get it?
Customer service business.
Customer service business. And so we're gonna try to stay focused on that. And on that focus, if you have noticed, anyone has noticed, that more and more work is taking place on Wood Street. And it is something that we've been working on for quite some time. It appears, I'll have to check tonight, that more of the temporary lights are going up. Now, I say those are temporary lights because once the job is completed, for those of you who don't know, Wood Street will be widened out. So it will be widened. It will be, we'll finally have sidewalks and curbs. In addition to that, we'll have some more turn lanes, and also, of course, lighting as well. But in order for them to complete the job, they had to add this temporary lighting. So if you go down Wood Street, you see like these really tall wooden poles for some odd reason. Those are the temporary lights that they are starting to install, and hopefully they will get completed sometime soon. Because once that part is done, then that means we're preparing to move on to the next phase, okay? Which is the actual, what we would like to see, the actual construction itself, even though they have been doing a lot of work on that street. When it's all said and done, we should have, like I said, new curbs, new sidewalks. It is a complete overhaul. So basically the same or similar to what was done on 154th Street is going to be done on the 2 miles known as Wood Street, from 147th to 160th. Once that work is complete, it will not be pavement, but it will be concrete. So it'll be total concrete pavements, all the way through. So that should last much longer. We are also going to get a new sewer line that will run that whole length of Wood Street, and actually will continue northeast, will continue north all the way to Little Calsag. So what will happen is, for those who, I don't know if this is too far in the weeds, but what will kind of happen is that detention basin that is being built by Metropolitan Water Reclamation District, the water will go into that basin, and then it will run from that basin down to connect into the Wood Street sewer, and then the excess water will run from the sewer all the way down to the Little County Pack. So there's been some engineering that has been done to make sure that works and works out well. But we're looking forward to that. It looks like, unless Ms. Davis tells me something else, Wood Street work is completed. Have they finished the rain gardens?
Yes.
Are those complete now? I thought they were. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't want to speak out of turn. The rain gardens are now complete. And once again, that's one of those things. Same with the sidewalks. And all of it on 154th Street, where the city received grant funds to be able to do that. So we are very, first of all, pleased with the fact that we're now qualifying for the grants, which speaks volumes as far as I'm concerned, because it says that, well, maybe there are some, as one person said, maybe there are some naysayers who don't necessarily believe in what this administration is doing, but there are some people with the federal government and the state government and the county government who definitely believe that when they give us money to do certain tasks, that we will complete those tasks. And so I spoke with someone actually last week about the sidewalks, but he understood that the money, because he wanted to know why his sidewalk wasn't done. You know, and then I had to explain, of course, that we received money to do those sidewalks. And so we have to use the money for its intended purpose, intended legal purpose. So we're glad to be able to do that as well. The comments that are made by our staff during our first meeting of the month is done because we want all of our residents to know what's going on with the city. And we have a lot of people who actually do appreciate the fact that they are getting that information now. And I'm just going to give you some encouragement, specifically Alderman Rogers and the Finance Committee. While one of the difficulties is that, no, we're not perfect, and I don't know why we're held to that standard, but I can say one thing for sure. The Finance Committee held many more meetings than the previous Finance Committees had held. And you do them consistently. Now, are there, and that's work, that we appreciate. Are there some things that maybe can be changed? Or are there some things that we can do better? Of course, the biggest room in your house is the room for improvement. But you guys meet regularly, and you handle this business. So stay encouraged, because, we appreciate what you do. As far as, let's make sure I check off the little boxes here. Like I said before, last meeting, investors and developers are very conservative. I tried to pull back, and I'm going to continue to try to do so, because some of the behavior, once again, it's not about what you say, this goes for me too. It's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And, when we see investors and developers looking at our city, and they're not pleased at what they see because of the behavior. They understand the financial picture of the city better than many. Many of them, besides having the experiences that they have, they also have the education as well, the background, to be able to figure that part out. They got it, they understand it. But what they would love to see is they would love to see a welcoming community that makes them feel comfortable about investing their dollars here in this city. And fortunately, we do have quite a few businesses, as was reported at our last meeting, and I talked about as well, that are interested in coming to the city, but also, we also have businesses that have already come to the city. And we will continue to do so. What we're looking for is we're looking for good, viable businesses. You cannot run a city without tax dollars. I don't care what anybody says. If you got that magic wand that allows you to be able to pull that off, I would love to see it. But the bottom line is we have to have taxes. And if our businesses don't pay those taxes, that's why we're in the situation that we're in now. That's one of the reasons why we had to lay off a certain percentage of their employees. Because of the simple fact is you can't continue to run a house when you're only getting half of your taxes, and then 35% of the money that you're getting is being taken by someone else. And once again, if you know how to do it, first of all, I would appreciate it if you come and meet with me so you can teach me how. And if you don't want to teach me how, then I wish you would run in 2027 and win and show us how. Because I'm not going anywhere, I'm still going to live here. And my goal is to try to have a city that is best for all of us, even when I'm not no longer in this position. So, but I just want to mention that again. I'm going to continue mentioning about investors and developers over and over again, because I really want us to bring down the revenue. There's a way to do it, but I want us to break down the rhetoric. Plus, the rhetoric affects, for those of you who are homeowners, it affects your property values. Okay? And so, if for no other reason, like I said, we want to just bring it down a little bit. I'm not saying, as you heard, all these people said what they had to say during public comment. And they have every right to say whatever it is that they want to say. Okay? But at the same time, as a member of the community, I'm just hoping that we can pull it back just a little bit, or we can find other ways. One thing that I'm committed to is personally trying to find another way. And I will promise you that by our next meeting, which is on what day? I want to say 11 or 14? 11? August 11th, I will have some more information from you as far as what I've been trying to do so that we can help to once again make our situation better. Yeah, so the rest of it, like I said, I took notes, but I'm not gonna address the rest of that stuff. Thank you to all of you who attended our 4th of July, because I don't know if we talked about it already. Yeah, we did, didn't we? Okay, great. And then we have National Night Out coming up, right?
Right?
Now, we're not going to do it this year, but I want y'all to keep something in mind. Okay? What I'd like to see us do on National Night Out is actually do a parade on National Night Out. Okay? Where we have the float, and the floats are lit, and we do it like at dusk at that particular point in time. But that's a vision. That's on my vision board. We're on the 5th, right?
Yes.
August 5th, 2025. Thank you so much for bringing that up. From, it looks like 3 p.m. to 7? Okay. All right. I have to go see my eye doctor. Yeah, from 3 p.m. to 7. You are more than welcome to come out at that time. Also, for those who have small children or elementary age children, we are also going to, of course, be giving out some book bags and some goodies for our young people to encourage them to stay in school and embrace education. So, when's the shred day? Because I can't ask. September 20th? Yeah, because I always miss that one too. Our representative, Will Davis, 30th District, will have a shred day on September 20th, 2025. That looks like 9 a.m. to noon. Where is it at his headquarters? Yeah, okay. I don't know what the address is. You want to read the address for me?
1912 West 174th Street, East Hazel Crest.
Okay. And our rep does this every year, if not once, or almost. Huh? Okay, yeah. If not once, definitely. If not twice, at least once a year. I think it's twice a year he does it. They also take prescription drugs as well. So if you have some leftover prescription drugs that you need to get rid of, instead of pouring down the sink or the toilet or something like that, you can bring them and they can be recaptured at this event as well. This event is for all members of the 30th District, which includes the City of Harvey. So I hope that everyone will take advantage of that. That being said, if there's nothing else, for the good of the order, no, we're not doing it. Thank you very much. If there's nothing else for the good of the order, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by the first, second by the, no, it says motion by the second by the first. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, hearing none, ayes have it, it's 8:35 p.m. Have a wonderful week, and